I think the problem we are facing in the world needs a lot of effort, a national effort, an international effort, regional effort, and these efforts which we see nowadays are not sufficient to balance the need of solving the problems and the heritage we had from the past related to the arm industry. As an example, in Bolivia we are writing a new constitution. This new constitution states that we withdraw from every intention of war. So Bolivia is banning all chemical weapons imported to the country, and I think we have to see the problems and the responsibilities in our world with a new perspective in order to obtain this peace and harmony between our relations among states, among regions, among the first and the third world, and so on. The resources the world is investing in armament, chemical arms, and all the other structure of the chemical industry is huge. Nowadays, I think we are starting to look towards a more integration process. We depend more and more, and we have to do more efforts in order to unify those efforts to face problems such as climate change, which of course the chemicals industry is affecting. And I think in the case of Bolivia, we are coming with a new proposal to the world, and it's a very peaceful proposal. It's a proposal to live well, not to live better, because if all we are in the perspective to live better, probably we need three worlds. The resources are not sufficient in the world to have this pattern of consumption, and certainly the chemical industry, which is linked also to certain transnational who produce those arms and chemical arms. Certainly, I think we have to have this perspective, otherwise we are not going to solve the chemical weapon industry we have still hanging around our world. We are seeing nowadays the need to put less chemicals in our world, less chemicals in our body. We are looking at the contamination which produce chemical weapons, which produce chemical in general. So we have to go back to our nature, and I believe, and we are in this perspective in Bolivia, and the government is very committed to the perspective that we should start again to look at the principal natural laws, which of course are corrupted by chemical weapons, are corrupted by chemicals. So we believe that the world, the human beings and the relations need a lot of to have more responsibility in their behavior. We are nowadays 6.7 million human beings in the world, and we are going to be in the year 2050 more than 9 billion human beings. And of course the challenges we are going to face make us believe that we need a chemical-free world. Well, perhaps a good example is the Bolivian experience that we had in terms of our coca culture. The Indian cultures in our region, and especially in Bolivia, had always a religious vision. They had their culture, and so there is a very high belief in all these natural medicine as well, where coca leaf is part of this cosmovision. When the Occident came and it was developed, the cocaine, lots of chemicals came, of course, to develop this drug. But the Indian cultures never changed the coca leaf as in its natural state. And I think this is a good example how to behave in a world which, of course, doesn't need more chemicals. I believe that certainly cocaine needs a lot of chemicals in order to produce those, and certainly the indigenous cultures, such as the Aymara and the Quechua cultures, always a great respect for the nature, and this example shows you if you change the basic laws, this is a responsibility that we have to face also not only at the national level but at the international level. We are ready to cooperate and support, of course, this task, this important task the OPCW is doing all over the world, and certainly if there is in the next future such a team visiting our country, we will be very glad to have you also, and to have a report on those issues. I might say that Bolivia doesn't have any chemical industry as such, and we are certainly in a policy towards a completely free chemical and free, not free chemical, because of course there are certain industry that needs chemicals, but chemical related and toxic waste, etc., we will not accept anymore in our country.